Our transformational tip is brought to you by Morgan Franklin. So many times you get this driver in your hands. You know how critical this is to get it into the fairway. You stand over that with your ball position right off of your left toe, and you hit that shot, and it takes off really low, and it fades over to the right-hand side, and you go, why can't I get my driver straight? Well, you know what? We got to transform that driver, and the way we're going to do it is understanding the relationship of our spine and our shoulders to the ground. When I walk through every day, my spine is perpendicular to the ground. My shoulders are parallel to the ground. What we call that is a T. Well, when you set up and you have a T at address, you've got a problem. You put that ball up off your left foot. That's a big problem. And then you get in here, and these shoulders are parallel to the ground, and they're a little bit open. And what does that cause you to do? It causes you to take the club outside. The upper part of your spine actually tilts forward instead of moving backward. And now you start compressing the ground, create a very steep angle of attack. And what do we get? We got a shot that flights out really low and spins over to the right. So come on over here and let's take a little peek at what this is going to look like. Because what you're going to see is this golf ball is going to leave. It's probably going to carry in the neighborhood. There it is, 230. The total distance is 243. Look at the ball speed, 146. But this is really the problem. Right here, the backspin number is almost 4,000 RPMs. And you combine a lot of backspin with a launch of 9.2, and what do you get? Disaster. So here's what we're going to do. We've got to change how our spine is setting into the address position. Because what we want is we're going to keep that T. That's what's going to happen. But we want that T to sit on an angle like this. The lead shoulder is going to be high. Trail shoulder is going to be low. And when you draw a straight line across, you're going to see a big difference between here and here. That's what I want to have happen. So when we set into the shot, you're going to get addressed here. The shoulder line is going to go like this. You're just going to take the lead shoulder, point it up into the air. That's where the grip is going. I want to go up. And what you'll notice is when the upper part of my spine moves backward, the lower part of my spine is moving forward where my hips are. So that's what we're doing at address. Change that address position, and we're going to give ourselves a chance to launch this high. Now, I want to show you what we're going to see out of that launch. Remember, we were dealing with a launch here of 9.2. So I get set up. Now I take my shoulders and I tilt them just like this. And now when I tilt them here, now what I'm doing is I'm getting the low part of the arc to happen behind the ball. The club is now going to be moving into this strike in an upward direction. And what's going to happen is that all of a sudden this ball is going to fly up into the air. Come on up here and let's take a peek at what this looks like. Because this is really what you want to pay attention to. Overall distance, again, was 242. So overall distance was 242. I flew that 251. That's fantastic. Remember, my ball speed was in the 148s. I got that up to 152.5. Really, really good. But pay attention to this. Over here, I got that thing at 3,500. I'm going to address that in a second. And my launch is at 15 degrees. So I got that 6 degrees higher. Now what we got to do is we got to take some spin out of this. We got to make sure that that ball, when it gets up into the air, it's carrying and going. How do we do that? Well, the way you're going to do that is to allow the upper body to have a little bit of glide in the backswing. And when you get a little bit of glide in the backswing, now the club is going to be able to drop into the slot, level out as it approaches in there, move a little bit in upward direction, and take some spin out. So, got to get this ball, I'm going to say 156 or north. All right, 156 or north. So I'm going to get in here. I get that address position just the way I want. I'm going to let that body have a little bit, the upper body have a little bit of glide, and then I'm going to go in there and give this a little bit of power. That's what we're going for right here. That one, not my best, but let's take a little peek at what we got. Come on up here, Gibbsy, and let's see what we got. What did I get out of my ball speed there? Did I get a little bit faster? 154, that was good. Launch angle, not so good. 11 degrees, backspin number was good, but I got to get that better. I lost that a little bit to the left, and you know what? I don't like doing that. Because what happens when I do that, when you get back there, you got to make sure that you've got that upper body moving, but you've also got to make sure that the body is rotating coming down to the strike. So we address body like this, let the upper body glide the upper part of the spine, then we're going to move into that strike, rotate out of the way, and now we're going to have ourselves a little bit of fun. So here we go. 154. I'm going 156 or north. Here we go. Okay, this one's really climbing up into the air. I hung back a little bit on that one, but let's just see what we got out of this ball speed right there, because this is going to be the number that I'm paying attention to. 153. I got to eat more Wheaties. That's what I got to do. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to understand that when you get set up, we've got to make sure that we don't let that ball position get that far off the big toe. We got to get it right off the seam of the shirt right here where the armpit is. And then what we're going to do is let the upper body glide, drive into it. Gibbsy, I got time for one more? Okay, I'm going to go for one more. Here we go. Last one, best one. Upper body's going to glide. Setup position is just the way we want. We got that little tilt with the shoulders just like that. Here we go. And that is blistered. This one had a little bit of pow-pow. That one there carries the number that I'm looking for. Rolling out a little bit. Let's see what we get. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. So make that slight adjustment. All of a sudden, ball speed gets up to 159. I carry it 260. It rolls out 20. Now let's look at these numbers here. Vertical launch, 11.5. Look at that backspin number. I brought that down from the high 3,000s, even close to 4,000 to 2,100. That's what you need to pay attention to. So when you're getting over there and you've got this driver in your hand, you've got to make sure that you make that change. Let those shoulders get to the position that we're talking about, slightly angled in an upward direction, and let that upper body get a little bit of glide to it. And as that starts to happen and you're rotating, what you'll be able to do is you'll generate a lot of club head speed. You'll hit the ball a little bit farther, take some of that spin out, launch it up into the air, and you'll start enjoying some really long tee shots. That's our transformational tip presented by Morgan Franklin.